Hello everybody, welcome to the Neil's Homestead. I'm Jeanette.
And I'm Old Guy.
And we're here today with the idea that we want to try to catch some more fish out of our pond. We've been fishing for catfish that we have stocked in our pond over the past 2 springs. We've stocked more than 200 catfish in our pond with those 2 years combined, and we haven't caught anywhere near that many. We've caught like maybe 30, I would say. And we want to be a little more serious with catching catfish. So what we've decided to do is try to set up a jug line. We're going to run it from one tree across a part of the pond, not the middle of the pond, but the more shallow part, over to the other side to another tree.
We're going to use some pretty heavy cord that we use in our greenhouses to mark the rows and the water lines and stuff. To start off with, I'm going to have to get in the boat and go across and pull the line across so we have some idea of how far it is. I can guess, but I'm not very accurate probably. So we're going to try to get our jugs reasonably equally spaced across the pond.
So after he measures across a length of rope so we can kind of get an idea of how much it's going to take, what our intention is to take 12 of these jugs that we have, tie some pretty heavy fishing line onto it and with a treble hook and bait. Then we'll tie each of these jugs onto the rope and check it maybe twice a day. It depends on the weather. We don't want to leave a fish on there very long if one does actually get caught. So I'm going to show you the process we're going to go through. Thanks for joining us.
We are going to fill our jugs about 1/3 full of water and tie them to the rope going across the pond, so we'll know where the jugs are and they won't float around everywhere. They'll be heavy enough where the fish can't pull them easily. We have some jugs with water in them, and so we're going to share the water from each jug.
What we're going to use as far as bait and hooks and string, we actually have this spool of heavy fishing line that somebody found down in the bottom of the pond. So obviously it was lost at some point. We don't remember ever dropping anything like this off the dock, but somebody did. It looks dirty, but it's been underwater for a long time and it still has the plastic wrapping on it. So I think it should be good. Hopefully we'll test it first before we put it to the true test. Then we're going to use treble hooks. They're size 2 treble hooks. The hooks will be hooked directly up to the line with swivel hooks. And my idea with the swivel hooks is that when you catch a catfish, I expect that it's going to start twisting. And if it has a swivel hook on there, I think it will not wrap the string up, but it will swivel on the string and be less likely to put stress on the string, causing it to break. We have a little box of clamp-on weights that we're going to use, and I've got my trusty scissors here that I like to use for a lot of things, a pair of needle nose pliers to tighten these lead sinkers, and then we have the wild cat blood bait.
We have several balls of this heavy twine that we're going to stretch across, and I think this one will reach, but I'm going to take an extra one just in case it doesn't. I'm going to have to go get the boat and come around and get this and stretch it across. Well, right here will be the edge of the water,
Okay.
and then we gotta have
Enough.
rope to tie to the tree.
Okay. Let's measure to here and see how long it is. And then we'll figure out how far apart we need to space the jugs.
I'm gonna have to go put the boat in the boathouse in order to keep the wind from blowing it away.
Well, I've got a 100-foot tape measure here that I'm going to attempt to use to measure how long this rope is so that we can get an idea of how to space the jugs on here. I've reached the end of the 100-foot tape measure, and there's still some left, but we need to get away from the bank a ways. So what I'm going to do is say that the space that we have to put the jugs is 100 feet. Now we have 12 jugs. How far apart do we need to put them? Okay, so that would be 96 feet. It's 100 feet across there, basically, from the point that we want to put one jug to the point that we want to put the last jug. And so what we're going to do is space the jugs around 8 feet apart. Okay, so we got that figured out. Okay, we're back at the table, at the patio, and what we're going to do next is tie the strings to each jug. How deep do you think we ought to make it?
4 foot, maybe a little less.
Well, it's hard to know, isn't it?
It is. Well, what I'm considering is that if we plant or tie a jug on every 7 feet, if you got 2 4-foot strings, they can get tangled up.
I thought we were doing it every 8 feet.
We can.
Should we tie fewer jugs?
We probably will, because
Should we only tie 10 jugs and do it every 10 feet? I'm liking the idea of only putting 10.
okay, it's guesswork anyway. So
Yeah. I guess at this point I will tell you that we are not professional fisher people. We don't hardly know what we're doing, but we're giving it a good try. Okay, you want to test this to see if it's still strong even though it's been under the water for a long time? How much power do you think you have to pull? Don't cut your fingers.
strong enough.
It's strong enough, it's not going to be a problem, I think. Even though it's been under the water for who knows how long. I mean, we made this lake, he made this lake. So it has been longer than 15 years, but I don't know how long it's been there. So anyway, I'm just going to kind of guesstimate by doing this to measure out how much we need for each jug. I'm going to cut the lines like that. Here, you hold the line. Okay. Now, what kind of knot do we need here?
Square knot do it.
Square knot? Okay, I think that's a square knot. Alright, that seems really sturdy. As we go, I'm going to tie the swivel and put the weight on as I go, I think. This is the way my granddad taught me how to tie. I don't know if this is going to work with this big heavy string or not, but you wrap it, or you hold one side, you wrap the short side around 3 times, and then feed that down through the little hole that you made and pull it down and tight. It pulls that wrap down on itself.
And don't cut it too short.
Hopefully that's good. I need to cut it a little bit because I think it could deter the fish, but I'm gonna. That seems really sturdy. I need 10 of those weights. They're the kind that you put on, how close to the swivel do you think I ought to go? It's 3 inches or higher? Lower? The thing is, I think catfish are kind of smart. And so I don't want to do anything to scare them. I think that's ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and open the swivel thing up so that I don't have to mess with that when we try to put the hooks on. Hopefully they won't get tangled up with anything. Okay, we're going to get the rest of these jugs done like that, and then we'll see what the next step will be. Well, I got all the jugs done up, and now it's time to work on the hooks and the bait. I'm using these pelleted bait things like this with a treble hook, and the way I'm doing it is to push the treble hook up in through the bait. Now it's going to crack at this point, but I have to mash it around and make it take shape and not have any cracks in the bait, because that can make it fall off. But I just keep pressing and make the bait fit around the hook so that it's secure, and I feel like it will hold on there, because this stuff is not the best about staying on the hook, but this is the best that I can come up with of something that will work for an extended period of time under the water. We've tried liver and that doesn't stay on. We've tried fishing worms, we've tried minnows before, and it seems like nothing really works very well, and I'm hoping that this will. So that's the next step, is I'm going to be getting all of the 10 hooks ready.
Trying to measure out here to where to start our first jug, and so we got going to the water and plus 10 foot. Get the first one out about 10 feet.
Here's the plan that we have. I folded the twine in half, and then I'm sticking it, and then I'm sticking it, and then I'm sticking it, all right. Okay, so here's the plan. I folded a piece of the rope in half. I'm putting it through the handle. Then I'm taking it back and wrapping it to itself, right like that. I have a tool that has a hog ring type clip in it, and I'm just going to clamp that down. And I think that that should hold the jug really well, and we don't damage the rope, and we don't lose much of the length of it.
We have our jugs tied to the line now. I'm gonna go get the boat and come around to the end over here, and then hopefully Jan can load the jugs into the boat.
Okay, what I've got in mind is not loading all these jugs into the boat. And we carry them all down there, and you take one in and start going, and I just put them in as you go. Do you think that would work?
That's a better idea.
Well, again, we don't know for sure what we're doing, but we're gonna try, and we're figuring things out as we go. So we're gonna try that method and see what happens. Okay, I'm about to toss you your rope. Push it out. Right direction, hopefully. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Kind of looks like he's having a little bit of trouble going where he wants. The wind is blowing too hard for this almost, but this is the day we wanted to get it done. He's trying to crawl out without losing his boat. Which I'm afraid he's gonna do. He's gonna lose his boat. And he'll have to walk back around, but I guess if he has to... There goes your boat! Well, this could get real interesting. Okay, now he's gonna get smart and pull it up on the bank. That looks about as good as I hoped for. He's got to paddle back over here and get me.
I used to live in the country on a high lonesome hill. Crow by day and by night the whippoorwill.
I hope I can get in the boat.
It's not very deep there.
It has the water cold. Here's the bait. Can you get that?
But I'm satisfied, tickled too.
He's holding the camera and he can't see anything. And I'm just gonna put this on here. Clip that down like that and put it in the water. Sink and catch a fish. Well, we got the jug line run, we got all of the hooks baited, and now we'll just keep an eye on it this evening to see if any jugs start bobbling around. And that's why I wanted to do a jug line instead of a trot line, because the jugs, each hook has its own individual jug, and I think that if we get a fish on there we can tell, because it'll start moving around and with the fish fighting the hook. And then in the morning we'll go give it a look. We'll take some bait with us and rebait if we need to. We'll see what happens. Hope for success. Because we need to catch some more catfish.
I'm satisfied, tickled too. Just to be with